we will start our study of Purusha Sukta today. If you see in Vishnu Sahasranama, there is a question asked by Parvati to Shiva. There are people who cannot study all the 1000, repeat all the 1000 namas. So, keno payena laguna Vishnor nama sahasrakam pathyate panditair nityam shrotamichamyaham prabho. Then he says Sri Rama Rama Rameti. So, extending the same question and logic to Veda mantras also, first they say Ananta vai Vedaha. That means Vedas are infinite. Even the amount of Veda that we have got, if you look at the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharva Veda that we have got, even that is very vast. For somebody who is a master of the Rig Veda, for example, who does not need a book and who will be able to chant without any interruption, without any memory or having a book, looking here and there, it takes 57 hours to chant the Rig Veda. For a scholar, just Rig Veda. And Rig Veda is not as big as Yajurveda, for example. I am talking about Rig Samhita only. Now add to that Brahmana, add to that Upanishads, and then take Rig, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharva Veda, then the Shat Shastras, then the Shat Darsanas. So vast. So it is impossible for anybody in one's own lifetime to do all these things. And therefore, just the same response to the similar question like in Vishnu Sahasranama, Kenopayena laguna sarvavedaihi pathyate panditaihi. By what simple means, all the Vedas, the essence of all the Vedas can be known by one simple mantra, and that mantra is the Purusha Sukta. So if you knew the Purusha Sukta not only to chant, but also its meaning, and then it's the depth of its meaning, then it is equal to your having studied the entire Veda. So that is the importance of this beautiful Sukta. So much so, to make our life a little more simple in our Shastra study project, the Padma Purana says, do you want to study something that will cover all the Vedic knowledge? Then you study Purusha Sukta. Vedeshu Paurusham Suktam. Then there are 18 Puranas, 18 Upapuranas. Skanda Purana itself has got 100,000 shlokas. Bhagavata has got close to 14,000 plus shlokas. So even to read those shlokas is not possible. Therefore, if you want to study all the Puranas, then Puraneshu cha Vaishnavam. You study Vishnu Purana. And then Bharata, Mahabharata is again another huge text, 100,000 text. So Bharate Bhagavad Gita. Then what about our conduct Dharma Shastra? Dharma Shastras, Manu Dharma Shastra with Medatithi's commentary. And Yajnavalkya Smriti, Vasishta Smriti, huge number, Vishnu Smriti, a number of Smritis are there. You can see my one whole shelf is filled with all these Smritis. So when are you going to finish all these things? So Dharma Shastra Manavam, Manu Dharma Shastra. So if you are going to take up a project of studying the entire Vedic wisdom, everything you can get by studying the Vedeshu Paurusham Suktam, Puraneshu cha Vaishnavam, Bharate Bhagavad Gita, Dharma Shastreshu cha Manavam. So one of these days we will take up Vishnu Purana also and study. We have not studied Vishnu Purana anywhere. We will do that also. So these are the four main texts that we can study. And since we are studying the Veda here, we will take up Purusha Sukta. Now the question is, why is Purusha Sukta so important? Number one, because of its deep content. Purusha Sukta has got all the things that we need to know about Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika and Adhyatmika concepts and beyond. That is reason number one. Reason number two is This Purusha Sukta is found in all branches of the Veda. That is the main significance. Why is it in every branch of the Veda? Vedavyasa embedded Purusha Sukta, you have to chant Purusha Sukta, whether if you are a Rigvedin, Yajurvedin, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. Though the order may be slightly different, the total number of mantras may be slightly different. But the fact is that it is there in all the four Vedas. Idam Purusha Suktam hi Sarva Vedeshu Pathyate. This Purusha Sukta, Idam Purusha Suktam hi, this Purusha Sukta, Sarva Vedeshu Pathyate, is to be studied in all the Veda. Ataha Shrutibhyas Sarvabhyaha. Ataha, therefore, Shrutibhyas Sarvabhyaha, among all the Vedas, Phalavat Samudiritam. The sages say that it is full of benefit. So, for the sake of its immense benefit, this is found in all branches of the Veda. So, number one is content, number two is benefit. Number three, even in the daily worship of the Shodashopachara Puja, it must be done with the help of the 16 mantras of the Purusha Sukta. For example, Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishtaddhashangulam Dhyayami. So all the 16 upacharas also have to be done only after preceded by the two mantras. What I chanted is not 4. It is only in Yajurveda it is 4, in Rigveda it is 2. So we have to take the Rigveda mantras. First 16 Rigveda Ruks, and then 16 is done. And even in Dhyana, etc., we are using Purusha Sukta. Therefore, it is part of Karma Kanda. So it is content, it is in all the branches of the Veda, it is also critical in Karma Kanda. Then, so the undercurrent of the Purusha Sukta, if you look at the central instruction of the Purusha Sukta, because it is part of the Karma Kanda of the Veda, it must start off with instructing and prescribing how to do a particular Vaidika karma. Then, if that was all, this importance it would not have got. So it also talks about these are the Vaidika karmas you are going to do, so that you will be able to go deeper. You will be able to go beyond karma. That what is beyond karma? Dhyana. You will be able to go beyond dhyana upasana. What is beyond dhyana upasana? It is the Atma Jnana, it is the Brahma Jnana. So therefore, what the Purusha Sukta says is the 3 sections of the Purusha Sukta. So Purusha Sukta has got 3 sections or 3 paragraphs. Now these 3 paragraphs represents 3 values. It is Yajna, Dana, Tapas. So Yajna, Dana and Tapas are conceptual. Yajna, Dana and Tapas is karma. Yajna, Dana, Tapas is the stepping stone towards the higher realization. And then, it is not as cryptic formula as the Omkara. So in Omkara it is absolutely cryptic. Akara, Ukara, Makara, Nada, Bindu, Kala, Shanta, Atishanta, all these are going to are so cryptic that only for the highest meditator the depth of Om can be known. Then the Gayatri Mantra is also very difficult to understand. And the Gayatri Mantra is too short for us to contemplate. There is you can't really grasp on any conceptual idea unless you are really initiated into that. Therefore, Gayatri Mantra's 3 padas. So, 3 sounds of Omkara, Akara, Ukara, Makara, 3 padas of the Gayatri Mantra, and the 3 Vedas, Trayi, that is Rig, Yajus, Sama, Trayi, all of these things which are Yajna, Dana, Tapas are the 3 paragraphs of Purusha Sukta. So this is another extraordinary importance of Purusha Sukta. Then, so we talked about Karma Kanda. We talked about Dhyana. We have, what is its place in Upasana? Because in Upasana, what do? I am here, one who is a meditator. I am here who is seeking knowledge. Then there must be an object to be known. There must be an object to be worshipped. Therefore, I am a bhakta, I need a devata. So that devata has to be universalized. So what Purusha Sukta does is, for the meditator upon Purusha Sukta, it creates the Virat Swarupa for Upasana. So the entire Purusha Sukta is the description of the Virat Swarupa. So it is not any particular deity. This is the reason why, whether you are worshipping Shiva or whether you are worshipping Vishnu or whether you are worshipping Devi, any of the deities you are worshipping, Purusha Sukta is indispensable. So you cannot say, just because there is a Sutra Vakya which says, Namakam Chamakam Chaiva Purusha Suktan Chedviduhu Mahadevan Tattulyam Tanme Manas Shiva Sankalpamastu, and therefore it's a purely Shaivite text. And so Vaishnavites will say that, I don't want to use Purusha Sukta. That's not the case. Because Purusho Havai Narayanaha. Purusha is none other than Narayana. So therefore, whether it is any of the deity you are worshipping, you are doing the upasana, it addresses all of them. It is a fairly simple construction, and it is a fine set of mantras, and therefore in the teaching methodology of the Veda, the very first mantras start are Upurusha Sukta mantras. So if you are going to start a Veda class and teach somebody, you must start with Purusha Sukta only. Of course, after Mangalacharana. So that is the, then, who is the, again we have to see Rishi Devata Chandas in any of the studies. This universal person, Purushottama, is the Devata of this Purusha Sukta mantras. So Sriman Narayana is the Devata. So Devata is over. The Rishi is Narayana himself. Because who can talk about the Absolute other than the Absolute? Because he is the one who was there before creation. And everybody else, including Chaturmukha Brahma, is also after creation. And therefore nobody can speak about what was before creation, and therefore the Rishi of this Purusha Sukta is Sriman Narayana himself. Rishi is Narayana. So then, if Narayana is Parabrahman, who is the Devata? He himself is that Devata. So this also points to the Vedanta concept that what is the ultimate to be worshipped? The self. The self. So Narayana is the self. Narayana is the one who is meditating. Isn't it? This is Atma Sakshatkara. So that also is in keeping with Atma Dhyana. Then Chandas. The meter of the Chandas, the first 15 mantras are in Anushtup Chandas. That is 8 letters of each pada, 4 padas. That is 32 letters in all. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Atyatishtad Dashangulam. 32 letters. So with that Anushtup Chandas, you do the puja karya. The last one, Yajnena Yajnamayajanta Devastani Dharmani Prathamanya Sante Hanakam Mahimanas Svachante Yatra Purve Sadhyas Santi Deva. It is in Trishtup Chandas, 4 lines of 11 letters each. So the it is called as Sukta because it is Suuktam. It is well said. And the fundamental Purusha Sukta is found in the Rigveda, and that Rigveda mantras are used in the other branches of the Veda also. So mostly we give the suffix Sukta in Rigveda. So most of the Rigvedic parts are all called Suktas. So Purusha Sukta, since we have used the word Sukta, that is originally it belongs to Rigveda. So among all the Rigveda Suktas, we can generally categorize. There may be a few exceptions. We generally categorized as Dharmika Adhyatmika Suktas and Laukika Suktas. So there are two kinds of classifications. In the Adhyatmika Sukta class come Purusha Sukta, Hiranyagarbha Sukta, which also we chant as part of the Bhanyasa. Hiranyagarbha samavartata agre bhutasya jata patirekasit sudadhara prithivendya mutemang kasmai devaya havisha vidhema. So Hiranyagarbha Sukta, Nasadiya Sukta, Nasadaseno Sadasit Tadanim. It is part of our Vedic syllabus 3, volume 3. Nasadiya Sukta. The Shraddha Sukta, Shraddhaya Agnes Samidhyate, it's long time since we chanted that. Shraddha Sukta. Then we have the Devi Sukta, Aham Rudre Bharvasvishcharam Yahama Aditya. That is the reason I included all of them, is because they are all Adhyatmika Suktas. And each one of them we will study in due course. There are the Laukika Suktas like Dana Sukta, then the Suktas done when a person passes away, Urdhvadehika Sukta, Suktas used in Vivaha. Then there is what is known as Abhicharaka Suktas. Abhicharaka Suktas are to ward off diseases. Then we have Suktas which create riddles, mental exercises. They are called as Brahmodya Suktas. Then there are conversational Suktas like Samvada Suktas, for example, between Urvashi and Pururava. Sometimes we also use that in weddings, elaborate weddings. So these are the Suktas, and our subject, our Sukta under study, Purusha Sukta, is a Adhyatmika Sukta. Then this Purusha Sukta, whom does it address? While the Devata is Narayana, it addresses Purusha. So Purusha means Paramatma, Purusha means Paramatma Tattvam. So that Tattva is what? That absolute which fills, Purayati, which fills and makes it what it is. Simple example is, if you have a balloon, if the balloon has got to get a round shape, it must be filled by air. Similarly, we are filled by prana, we are filled by Purusha, and that is why we have got this form, we have got this sentiency, all of these things. So it is the Tattva. In other words, everything in the universe assumes its form, nature and name because of this Purusha Sukta in it. So do you see anything having a form? Then there it is Purusha. Then you see any name which represents a form, then it is Purusha is inside. So Nama Rupa Kriyatmaka, all Vyavaharas are because there is Purusha in it. Suppose I say, please bring that book. How do you understand and respond to my request? It is because that sentence itself is filled by Purusha, which is the meaning. And therefore Purusha is one who fills. Then the entire Purusha Sukta, because it talks about this Purusha as the inhering principle, the nature of the Purusha Sukta, the entire Purusha Sukta is called a Pramana Vakya. Pramana Vakya means if you say this is what is said in Purusha Sukta, then there is no argument. Final argument. Final, that's it. So therefore it becomes a, not all statements can be a pramana vakyas, because if there is a statement, that statement may have to be qualified by other arguments, isn't it? What is the best way to go to airport? People will say 4 different routes they will give, and we will have to sit and argue which is the best route. Isn't it? But suppose we say Google says so, it becomes a pramana vakya. So similarly, Purusha Sukta is also called pramana vakya. So what is the pramana vakya? The principle behind the animate and the inanimate things in the creation is Purusha Tattvam. That is the essence that Purusha Sukta talks about, and hence it will become Pramana Vakya. This is why whether you study Upanishad or whether you study Gita, the concepts of Purusha Sukta are introduced without any further argument. They simply say that. That's it. Why? Because Krishna considers, all the Upanishad Rishis consider that whatever concept is said in Purusha Sukta is a pramanam. But this text is so very well known. Everybody knows this text, but they really have to take some time in knowing the meaning, and that's going to be our project. So in the next class, we will look at the various definitions of Purusha Sukta. And we'll also enumerate a few commentaries that are there. It starts with one of the earliest commentaries is Bhattavaskara Mishra's. After Bhattavaskara, it was Sayana. Then there was Mahidhara. Then the sectarian commentaries are also there. Rangaramanujiya of the Sri Vaishnava tradition is there. Sri Raghavendra Yati's Vaishnava tradition is there. The Vadiraja's commentary is there. Satyendra Tirtha's commentary is there, the Vaishnava commentaries. So what I am planning to do is, whatever is unique, that is, we will have Sayana Bhattavaskara Bhashya as the core. And then if there is any additional valuable information that is given by any other of the later commentators, and those commentators, I will point out this is the special feature that is given by this commentator, and we will continue and elaborate on that. So if you want to see the central message of what Purusha Sukta gives, among the 108 Upanishads that is listed by Muktika Upanishad has given a list of 108 Upanishads. The 30th of that is called Mudgala Upanishad. This Mudgala Upanishad gives a summary central theme of the Purusha Sukta. So at the end of our study, I will introduce to you Mudgala Upanishad also, so that you will be able to get a feel for the overview of what Purusha Sukta is. So it's an exciting study. We'll continue.